Всім привіт! Hello everyone. I'm happy that you joined me today. So for our webinars for the ЗНО preparation 2022. My name is Ola and I'm happy that you are here today. So today we will talk about something that everybody likes. Something that is really great and exciting. And we will talk about traveling with you. So before we start, today we will discuss traveling and tourism and some useful vocabulary. And we will also look at some reading tasks. And once again, we will discuss some tips, how to complete different reading tasks. And we will have practice, as always, with you. But before we start talking about traveling, please think, which associations do you have with traveling? So what comes to your mind when you hear the word travel? And put your associations to the chat. So to the chat, please write which associations you have when you hear traveling. So any words, any ideas? Summer holiday, I can see sea and nature. Okay, wonderful. Abroad, okay, holidays. So waiting for more ideas. So what comes to your mind when you think about traveling? Okay, beautiful view, sea, vacation, beach, environment. Okay, it's interesting. Hotel California. Okay, great. COVID-19, oh no, that is sad. Okay, a lot of nice ideas, thank you. So let's look at some vocabulary. Let's look at some words which are connected to traveling. So on the screen, now you can see 8 words. I'm sure you know most of them, or at least some of them. So we will think what they mean, and we will try to match them with some definitions. So first of all, now please look at these words and think if you know their meaning. So I will read them for you. Travel, a tour, a trip, a journey, a voyage, a cruise, an excursion, a trek. So now look at the definitions from A to H. So you have got here explanation of these words. So now please look at the highlighted words in the definitions. Look at the underlined words. So these are key words which will help you. And try to match the word and the definition. So put your answers to the chat. Please write the number of the word and the letter of the definition which matches this. Again, pay attention to the underlined, to the highlighted words. They are key words which will help you find the correct answer. Okay, waiting for your ideas. Okay, I will give you 1 minute to put your ideas to the chat. Okay, I can see some correct answers here. So 5B. Yes, I agree that 5 is B. 4H. Yes, agree with this. 5B. Okay. 2A, 7H. Okay, wonderful. So I can see a lot of correct answers here. So let's check all together and let's discuss the meaning of these words. So you can see the answers here. So the first one is travel. So travel, that is the activity of traveling. So the process of traveling. Then number 2, it's a tour. So tour, that is a planned journey. So when you travel, when you plan this traveling and when you go to several places. So when you go on a tour, you visit more than one place. So it can be a bus tour, for example, or it can be a city tour. So when you visit different places in one city. And it can be translated as тур, турне, навіть екскурсія. So it's very important to remember that if you go on a tour, you visit more than one place. Then number 3 is a trip. So a trip can be translated as подорож, поїздка. And it is important that you go on a trip and return back. So usually when we say trip, we mean that we go to one place and we come back, or we plan to come back, to return back. And usually a trip has a purpose, мету. Yeah, so it can be for pleasure, or it can be for some work purposes. And we have some state phrases with trip. So, for example, we can say a business trip, відрядження. Yeah, so it's when you go there and return back, and you have a purpose for this trip. So then number 4 is a journey. So journey, that is the process of traveling. Usually we mean traveling by some types of transport, and usually it's over a long distance. Voyage, that's a long journey in a ship or spacecraft, or sometimes we use it to talk about planes, and usually it is long, so it takes some time. Then a cruise, it's also a holiday on a ship, but we do it for pleasure, для задоволення. So when we go on a cruise, we just relax, we stay on this ship and enjoy our life. Then an excursion. So excursion, that is a short journey when you visit one place. So when you go on a tour, you visit several places, but when you have an excursion, you go to one place. For example, it can be an excursion to a museum, or an excursion to one particular place. And the last one, it's a trek. So trek, it's when you travel on foot, йти в похід. And usually when we say trek, we speak about some beautiful places in the nature, like mountains, forests, etc. So now I hope that you know and understand all these words, but some of them are quite similar. And we will try to look at the difference between them. And the first one, so let's think, what is the difference between a journey and a trip? Now try to think, try to put your ideas to the chat, and if you know the answer, so write to the chat. What is the difference between a journey and a trip? Because the translation can be the same, so they are translated as поїздка or подорож. Okay, waiting for your ideas. Okay, I can see some answers. Trip is shorter than a journey. Yes, possible. In some contexts, yes. So waiting for more ideas. Journey is long, yes. Okay, yeah. So let's discuss it together. So when we say journey, usually, so we can mean the process of going somewhere. Тобто пересування з одного місця в інше. And a journey, so it is a single piece of travel by car, by plane, by train, or by other type of transport. And usually, so we mean that we go just from one place to another. Тобто це поїздка з одного кінця в інший. І дуже часто, коли ми говоримо journey, ми якраз маємо на увазі сам переїзд, коли ми користуємось транспортом, щоб дістати з одного місця в інше. And usually it is long, so it takes time. Trip can be used to, so a trip can include different journeys, and when we speak about a trip, we can mean the process of going to that place and the time which we spent there. And when somebody asks you, how was your trip? So usually they don't mean like the process of traveling by car or by train, but usually people mean like, did you have a good time there? So was it nice? Did you like your trip? And in some other contexts, so you were right, a journey can mean, so can be longer and a trip can be shorter. And also we use trip in some collocations. So for example, when we say a business trip or a holiday trip, or it can be a one-day trip, etc. So there are a lot of phrases with this word. So let's look at the next one. So let's think together, what is the difference between a tour and an excursion? Again, I'm waiting for your ideas in the chat, and we then will discuss it together. So I've already told you about the difference between them, and let's see if you remember. So waiting for your ideas in the chat. Tour is planned, yes, and excursion can also be planned. Tour several places, excursion one only. Yes, I agree. So that is the right answer. So a tour and an excursion, they both can be planned, but when we say a tour, we mean that we go to different places. And when we say excursion, we go to one place. Yeah, if we say a bus tour, автобусный тур, so we mean that we visit different cities, for example. Yeah, and an excursion, so it's to one place. And also a tour can include different excursions. So you can have several excursions within one tour. And the last, so that is the difference between a voyage and cruise. So both these words can be about traveling by ship. But what is the difference between them? Again, if you have any ideas, put them to the chat. I will look and we will discuss together. So what is the difference between a voyage and a cruise? Yeah, you say voyage, it's traveling by sea, yes, and cruise as well. So cruise, it's also a sea travel. Voyage is a planned journey. Yeah, cruise can also be planned. Cruise is more relaxing. Yeah, and a lot of you say that cruise is for pleasure. Yeah, exactly. So you're right. So voyage, that's usually a long journey. It can be by boat, by ship, sometimes by plane. And usually it has a purpose. And a cruise, that is just, yes, and cruise can also be short, so it can also be long or it can be shorter, but it's for pleasure. Cruise, it's when you stay on this beautiful ship and just enjoy your life there, enjoy your vacation. Okay, wonderful. So let's go next and let's practice a little bit. So here you can see 7 sentences and you can see some words. So your task will be to think which word we can use in each of these sentences. But there is a trick. So you can see that there are 7 sentences, but 8 words. So there is one word which you don't need, which is an extra one. So let's do it all together. Let's do them one by one. So please look at the first sentence, read it, and put your answers to the chat. Which word can be used here? And some help for you. So you can see on the slide some highlighted, some orange words. So these are key words which will help you. And number 1, we have two ideas here, tour or travel. Okay. And number 1, that's a travel guide. So a travel guide is a book in which we can find different tips, different recommendations, how to travel. And you're right, there is also a phrase tour guide. But when we say a tour guide, we mean a person, экскурсовод, in most cases. And travel guide, it's a book. So here we can see that it was written by an Englishman, so we understand that it's about a book here. Okay, let's look at number 2. This city is beautiful and we are going on a sightseeing now. So there are some options, tour or excursion. Okay, so let's think which is better here, which suits better. So if the whole city is beautiful, it means that maybe we will visit different places, so more than one place there, because we want to see the whole city. So in number 2, then we will have tour, because we will visit not one place, but we will visit different places in the city, because all city is beautiful. So then let's go to number 3. The company sent me on a foreign business. Yes, you are right. I can see correct answers. Yeah, that's a business trip. And it is a state phrase. So it's a collocation which we need to remember. And also when we say trip, we mean that we go there and back, and there is a purpose for this trip. Then let's go to number 4. Solo train. So which of these words can we use to talk about the process of traveling using a particular type of transport? And you're right, that is a journey. So train journey, so we mean like the process of traveling by train, going from one place to another. Then in number 5, so you can see that it's about a ship. So it was transatlantic. That's sea travel. And in 5, yes, I agree with you. So that is a voyage. Now, voyage is usually a long journey. So we use it to speak about sea travel, and it has a particular purpose. And then in number 6, it's also about a ship. It's also about sea travel. But this time, that is a cruise. You're right. And the last one, so waiting for your ideas for number 7. Yes, and you are right. Yes, I can see some correct answers. So you go only to one place, it is planned, you want to see this place only, and that is a day excursion. Yes, you are right. Because Jason will visit only one place, so he will travel to the pyramids only. Okay, so great job. So we're ready to go on. And here one more tip. So I told you last time at our first webinar that when you learn new words, when you learn or when you revise the words which you already know, it's very nice to look for some synonyms, antonyms, and it is very important to know some collocations, фрази, сталі вирази, with this word. So, and it helped us a lot. So you knew that there is a phrase business trip, so you all gave the correct answer to number 3. We also know that they can be a phrase travel guide, yeah, when we speak about a book, and it also helps us a lot. So when you learn new words, also learn some phrases with this word. I really recommend you using this wonderful dictionary that is online Oxford Collocation Dictionary. So collocation, it means a phrase. So that is the dictionary where you can find some phrases with the word which you are learning. So for example, here we can see some words which can make phrases with trip. So we can see that we can use some adjectives with it. So we can say a long trip, or a quick, a short, a day trip. Also, we can use verbs like go on a trip, or be on a trip, take a trip. And we also can make phrases like a trip abroad, a trip home, a trip of a lifetime. So it's a very, very useful thing to do. When you learn new words, go to this website or use another collocation dictionary and just look through some state phrases which can be formed with this word. It will help you a lot for different tasks in your test. And now we will speak about different ways of traveling. So in this picture, you can see 4 illustrations for different types of traveling. So look at these pictures and write to the chat which types of traveling you can see here. So it's very obvious, but I'm waiting for your ideas. By plane, yes. By cruise, or it can be a cruise, yes. Plane, ship, travel, bus, yes. So we can see different types of transport here. Yes, you're right. So we can say that we can travel by plane, for example, and it will be air travel. So there can also be a sea travel, rail travel, залізничні подорожі, so when we use a train for this, and road travel. So it's авіаподорожі, when you use a car, a motorbike, or also a bike, so that is also a road travel. So here you can see a lot of phrases on this slide and a lot of words. So now please take a screenshot of the screen of this slide, or take your phone and take a photo because you will need to see these words for the next task we will do together. So please take a photo so that you can see the words on this slide, because when I go to the next slide, you will not see them. And now we will think together with you. So which of these words, which of these phrases we can use to talk about air travel, sea travel, rail travel, or road travel? And we will start with air travel. So look through the words, the phrases you have got here, and put to the chat what you think. Which of these words and phrases can be used to speak about air travel? Air travel, so that's авіаподорожі. So which words can we use to talk about air travel? Okay, yeah, a lot of people say flight. Exactly. Flight, it's about air travel. So I can see some more ideas. Cabin, no, not really. Air terminal. It's airport, yeah, airport terminal. To go through customs, exactly. So let's look at some more phrases here. Yeah, sure, it's airport terminal. Also to board, so we can board a plane. So board means зайти на борт. So we can board a plane. So it means that we go to the plane to start our journey. We can also say go by plane, подорожувати літаком. And we can say get on or get off a plane. Зайти або вийти з літака. So we can say to board a plane or get on a plane. To go through customs, проходити через митницю. Flight, переліт. And you're right, boarding pass. Boarding pass, that is квиток, посадковий талон. Also, some people write in the chat, life jacket. It's more about sea travel, but also, yeah, it can be about air travel too, because in the plane we have some life jackets. Okay, let's think about sea travel together. Again, waiting for your ideas. So which words, which phrases we can use to talk about sea travel this time? And some of the phrases can go to different categories. Sail, cabin, ferry terminal, sail, life jacket. Yes, you are right. So for air travel, we have airport terminal, and for sea travel, we have ferry terminal, паромный терминал. Also, we can say to board a ship. Також зайти на борт, сісти в корабель. We can say to go by. So we can use go by with different means of transport. So we can say to go by plane or to go by ship. Also, we can get on or get off a boat or a ship. Сісти і вийти з корабля. To sail, плавати під парусом. Cabin, that is кабіна, каюта. And life jacket, рятувальний жилет. That's an important thing for sea travel. So let's move to rail travel. Again, waiting for your ideas. So which words can be used to talk about rail travel? Put your ideas to the chat. It's very nice for me to see that you have correct answers and you put them to the chat. Yes, again, rail travel, that's залізничні подорожі, so when we use a train. Yes, wonderful. So thank you for your answers. Yeah, when we speak about rail travel, we can use railway station, залізничний вокзал. We can also board a train, сісти на борт, зайти в поїзд. So we can say to go by train, to get on, get off a train. Also, we can say to change trains, пересідати з поїзда на поїзд. Коли наша подорож включає декілька поїздок на поїзді, ми кажемо change trains. Also, underground station, станція метро, because so in the underground, so there are also rails, це також свого роду залізниця, so underground station, that's also about rail travel. And passenger train. Yes, they can be different types of train, so it can be a fast train or a passenger train. Wonderful. And so the last one is road travel. So again, waiting for your ideas to the chat, and then we'll discuss together. Railway. No, that's for rail travel. Okay, waiting for your ideas. Which words can be used for road travel? So road travel, again, автотранспортні подорожі. And we can use such phrases as coach station. So coach, it's a bus. So coach station, that's автостанція. Or we can also say bus station. Again, we can board. So we can board a bus. So we can board a plane, we can board a ship, we can board a train, and we can board a bus. And also we can say to go by car. We can get on or get off a motorbike, for example, but please be very, very careful because we say get in or into and get out of a taxi. So for most types of transport, we use to get on, get off. But when we speak about a taxi or a car, we say to get in or to get into and get out of it. Please remember it and be very careful with it. We can say to catch a bus, сісти в автобус, спіймати автобус. So catch, that's an interesting word which is used here. So remember that we say to catch a bus. And traffic jam, затори. So it also happens when we travel by car, by bike, or by taxi. So you can see that we can use the phrase to go by with different types of transport. We can say to go by plane, to go by ship, to go by train, to go by car, etc. But if we mean to walk somewhere, so how can we say it? Do we say to go by foot or to go on foot? Again, waiting for your ideas. So we can use to go by to speak about transport, but which phrase can we use to talk about walking? On. Yes, you are right, to go on foot. So let's look at some more interesting moments here. So we use go by plus means of transport. And so here we don't need any articles and we don't need any prepositions. В фразі go by ніякі прийменники і артиклі нам не потрібні. Ми кажемо go by і вид транспорту, який використовуємо. For example, I never go to work by car. But when we speak about walking, we say on foot. So not by foot, on foot. So, for example, the weather was great, so we decided to go there on foot. And also, we discussed with you that we can use get on and get off to talk about plane, train, boat, bus, ferry, horse, motorbike. But we use get in or get into and get out of when we speak about a car or a taxi. For example, we can say, we are late, get in the taxi, faster. Or it's possible to say, get into the taxi. And when we speak about other types of transport, we say, get on, get off. For example, she has already got on her plane. Or she has already got off her plane. So now we know a lot, and that is the time for us to practice a little bit. So we will practice with some vocabulary connected to traveling. And before we start, you will need these words. So these words will help you to complete the next task. So now please look through these words. I will read them to you. So I will read the words and you please follow me and read the translation. So it's airlines, aircraft, luggage rack, airfare, departure, check-in. Look at the spelling, please. We write check-in with the fees, with the hyphen. Carriage, ticket office, bus stop, to book, and booking. Now, again, please take a photo or take a screenshot of the slide because we will go to the next task and you will need to see this word to complete the task. So take a photo. I will give you 30 seconds for this, and then we will go to the task. And these words will be really, really helpful for you. So I hope that you have your photo. And now let's try to practice with you a bit more. So you can see here a task which is very similar to use of English tasks. So when you have to choose the correct word and you have 4 options. So here we have the same type of task. And we will try to do it together with you. So let's look at, so first of all, let's revise with you what is the strategy, how we complete such tasks. So again, please don't read the whole text first before you start doing. So when we do use of English tasks, we read sentence by sentence, so one by one. You read the first sentence, you complete the gap, then you go to the next number. So let's look at the first one. Please read the first sentence and read the second sentence with the gap. And let's think which word to use here. Okay, I already can see correct answers. Yeah, so first of all, let's think which 2 options are not correct 100%. So we can't use here catch and we can't use here board because after this word we need to say like which transport. So we say to catch a bus, for example, or to catch a train, and we say to board a bus, to board a plane, and here we don't have any transport, so we can't use C and D. So drive is also not suitable here because like we don't pay when we drive ourselves, so the correct option is B, to fly. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you are right. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, so the next one is A. So let's look. So here we need to look at grammar. Yeah, so we have the verb draw, and it doesn't have this S ending. So that's why we can't use C and D, because aircraft and travel is singular, однина. So if we use C or D, then we need to have this S ending here. So we can't use these options. Also, so we have here budget. So airports can't be budget because, like, yeah, that's a place. So we use here A, airlines. So you are absolutely right. Okay, let's try to do number 3. So let's read the sentence with number 3, and let's think which word can be used here. So number 3, cheap. Yeah, to start with, the price of a cheap only looks attractive at the beginning. Yeah, so what can be cheap? Let's think. So definitely not air. So this option is not the right one. Also, luggage rack. Yeah, полиці для речей. So it can't be cheap because we don't have to pay for this. And we have got 2 options, boarding pass and airfare. Квиток or плата за переліт. And here, so again, it is very important to know some phrases, to know collocations with these words, because we can say about fare, so we can say that fare can be cheap and fare can be expensive. So here answer C is right, cheap airfare. And boarding pass is not suitable here because we don't pay for a boarding pass. Ми не платимо за квиток, як такий, ми платимо за переліт. And boarding pass is given to us. So here C is the right option. So now I'm waiting for your ideas for number 4. And online charge. So what can be online? So again, we see that B is not the right option, відправлення. So online відправлення, not logical. Then we understand from the context that we need here online реєстрація. So we need to remember how to say реєстрація in English. And that is option D. Yes, you are right. So check-in with a hyphen, через дефіс. Реєстрація, check-in. Now number 5. If your hand is not the correct size, you have to pay more money. So your hand, what? And we have got options in number 5. Luggage, suitcase, carriage, and cabin. So definitely it's not cabin, каюта. It's not carriage, вагон. So we're speaking about air travel. So we have two options, luggage and suitcase. Suitcase, it's чемодан. And we have a phrase hand luggage, ручна клажа, ручний багаж. So here A is the best option because it's not only about a suitcase. So your hand luggage can be a bag, it can be a backpack, and hand luggage are all things which you can take with you on the plane. So A is the right option. Number 6. We have to pay at the may ruin your holiday mood. So if you have excess baggage, here you will have to pay at the and it may ruin your holiday mood. So some right answers, wonderful. So we don't pay at the bus stop, and we speak about air travel here. So at the ticket office, we buy tickets, we can buy a boarding pass, yeah, but we don't pay for luggage there. So C is not suitable here. So then B, airport, yeah, because we are speaking about air travel in this text. Then 7. So don't forget to print your at home. What do you need to print out before you travel somewhere? Yeah, and it's not a brochure, it's not a leaflet, листівка, because you don't need them to travel by plane. So the correct answer is C, boarding pass. You are right. Посадковий квиток. And the last one here, so that is number 8. So next time you are sitting at your desk to make that online, make sure you are well rested. So make online what? And again, we can see that bargain. So bargain, it means вигідна покупка, so it's not suitable to this context. Purchase, also покупка, also no here. Yeah, we can have a phrase online purchase, online покупки, but here it doesn't suit this context. Yeah, and that is, so we have book. Book can be a verb, бронювати, or it can be a noun книга. And booking, it's a noun бронювання. So here we need, yes, online booking, online бронювання, because we need a noun. Okay, great job, great job. Yeah, you can see the answers once again. So one more tip here. So when you complete a task like this, so after you fill in the gap, after you use a word here, read the sentence again and think if it looks logical. So if the sentence is correct. So, and if we read this text again without the gaps, we will understand that all is right and the text is logical, it is grammatically correct, so all our answers are good. So, great job. And let's talk about tourism a little bit. So here you can see some pictures and you can see some words. So I will read the words for you. And please think if you know the meaning and if you remember the translation of this word. So the first one is a tourist. So that is easy, it's tourist. We all know this word. And a destination. So destination місце призначення. So that is the place where we are going to when we travel. Місце призначення – місце, куди ми хочемо дістатись, коли подорожуємо. Accommodation. Accommodation is a place where we can stay. So when we travel, so it can be a hotel or a hostel. Житло. Житло, де ми зупиняємось, коли подорожуємо. A tourist attraction or a place of interest. So it's about an interesting place in a city, or not only in a city, which is popular, which tourists love to visit. Якась цікавинка, визначене місце. A ticket. And we can use such phrases with ticket as one-way ticket, return ticket, single ticket. Квиток, і квиток може бути one-way, тобто в один кінець. A return ticket, коли ми одразу купуємо квиток і туди, і назад. Or a single ticket, один квиток. The next one is passport. So the translation is clear here, it's passport. And possible phrases, so passport can be valid, дійсний, or invalid, недійсний. A timetable, розклад. And luggage we've discussed with you. Вже обговорювали це слово. Це багаж. And, for example, we can use a phrase hand luggage. Можемо використати також цим словом фразу hand luggage, тобто ручна поклажа, ручний багаж. And let's look at some types of accommodation with you now. So here you can see different types of accommodation. So let's try to match them with their names. So again, let's discuss them one by one. So we will start with the first. So look at this one. Look at this picture, number one. And choose which word or which phrase can describe this picture. So that is a big, beautiful building. Maybe it's expensive to stay there. Yes, and that is a 5-star hotel. Exactly. Yes, 5-star hotel. So then number two. So it's not so expensive. A lot of people can live in one place. So it is cheaper. So what is number two then? Yes, that is a youth hostel. You are right. Hostel, молодіжний hostel. So a place where usually a lot of people stay in one room. Then the next one, number three, is so you can see a swimming pool here. It looks luxurious. Yes, and that is a holiday resort. You are right. Курорт. Курорт для відпочинку. Then number four, so in this picture we can see a lot of tents and it's a forest, so beautiful natural place. Yeah, so number four, that is a campsite. Camping. So the place where you can stay with your tent or maybe with your car. Then in number 5, so it looks like a house. And that is a guest house. You are right. Guest house, гостинний дім, also the place where you can stay when you travel. So in number 6, yeah, you have the answer in the picture, so that's really easy. So we understand that it's B&B, bed and breakfast. So it's rather cheap. So you can just have a room with a bed there, and breakfast is included in this price. So number 7, oh, it's a great scene. It's like a house on wheels, будинок на колесах. And that is a caravan, yeah. You can use it as transport, or you can live there when you travel, so a great scene. And then number 8, so the last word, which is left there, that is a tent, right. So when we stay at a hotel or hostel, we can have different types of rooms there. So let's look at these pictures and let's think together which types of rooms we can see here. So the first picture, so that is a room for one person. So any ideas how we can call a room like this? So a room for one person. Okay, please put your ideas to the chat. So how we can call a room for one person? And that is a single room. Right, it can be single bedroom or just a single room. You're right. So number 2, that's a room for 2 people, and there is one big bed, so where 2 people can sleep. Again, waiting for your ideas. What is the name for this type of room? A room for 2 people. Yes, you give the right answers. I like the answer to single room. 2. So no, number 1 is a single room. Yeah, number 2 it's a double room. So double room, a room for 2 people, but with one big bed there. And number 3, it's also a room for 2 people, but there are 2 beds there. So double room is a room for 2 people with one bed, and in number 3, we have 2 beds in this room. So then number 3 is not a double room, but there is another name for this type. Oh, any ideas about number 3? What do we call a room for 2 people but with different beds? Okay, so it's more challenging. Let's look. It's a twin bedded room. Twin bedded. So twin bedded, it's a room with 2 beds, so it's a room for 2 people but with 2 separate beds for them. Then in number 4, so we can see a room. It is actually a double room, and we can see the bathroom in this room. So there is a phrase which we use to call rooms which have a bathroom in this room. And it's a beautiful word. So it's ensuite. So ensuite, it's a room which has a bathroom in it. So a single room can be ensuite. A double room can be ensuite. A twin-bedded room can be ensuite. So ensuite means that there is a bathroom in this room, a separate bathroom. And number 5. So in number 5, you can see that it is something expensive. It looks really nice. So there is a bedroom, there is a living room, there is a bathroom there. So what can we call it? It's like номер люкс. So something really great. and that is a suite. So suite, its number looks, it's usually big, it usually has several rooms, and it's usually more expensive. Okay, I hope you remember it all, so let's practice a little bit. Look at this advertisement here. For reading tasks, we have some advertisements. And look at the information here. So here we have information on room type and price. So look through the information and then we will discuss which of these statements are true, which of them are false according to this advertisement. So let's start with number 1. A room for 2 people with separate beds costs £75. So is it true or is it false according to this advertisement? So one more tip, when we have a task with advertisements, so all words are important. So look at the details, pay attention to the details. Number 1, so a room for 2 people with separate beds. We know that a room for 2 people with separate beds, it's a twin room. And we can see here that a twin room costs £80, so not 75. That's why it is false. Then number 2, again, waiting for your ideas. So if you are prepared to pay more, you can have a set of rooms, a bedroom, a bathroom, and your own living room. So we know that a set of rooms with a bathroom, bedroom, a living room, it is called a suite. And we can see that suite is the most expensive option here. So that is true. Yes. Number 3, a room for 1 person costs £65. Yes, we know that a room for 1 person is a single room, and it costs £65, yeah, as we can see in this advertisement. And number 4, only some rooms have their own bathrooms. So let's find this information. And yes, it is false because it says here, all rooms are en suite. So en suite means that all rooms have a bathroom in it. So it is false. Because not only some rooms, but all rooms are en suite here. Number 5, a room for 2 people is cheaper if they sleep in one big bed. So let's think what we call a room for 2 people with one big bed. And we call it a double room. And a room, so a room for 2 people but with two beds, it's called a twin room. Yeah, so here we can see that a double room is cheaper than a twin room. So here the answer is true, because it is cheaper than a twin room. And number 6, you have to pay separately for breakfast. Yeah, that is obviously false. Yes, because it says here prices are per room per night, including breakfast. Okay. Yes, breakfast is included. Right, you're right. Okay, so when you have a reading task, when you have a task with advertisement, at ЗНО, you have a matching task with advertisements. So not a true-false task, but still, again, so you have very little information here. So you need to be very attentive when you look at these advertisements, and you need to pay attention to all the details you can see here. So thank you a lot for your work today. Now I have some questions to ask you. So I will just ask them, and I'm waiting for your answers in the chat. So the answer can be yes or no. So the first one, en suite is the same as suite. So en suite is a synonym to suite. So is the answer yes or no? unsweet is the same as sweet. So they are synonyms. No, okay, yes, exactly. The answer is no, because unsweet is just a room with a bathroom, and sweet it's so a type of accommodation where you have different rooms, and it's usually bigger and more expensive. Okay, one more question to you. A tour is the same as an excursion. So a tour is the same as an excursion. Okay, right. That is no, because tour is when we visit different places, several, and excursion, it's usually about one place. And the last question to you to check if you remember what we talked about. It will be not a yes/no question, but I want you to write the answer to the chat. What do you use? So we can say get on, get off a bus, get on, get off a plane, but which prepositions can we use to talk about a car and taxi? So we say get on, get off a bus, get on, get off a train, a plane, but what do we use with a car or a taxi? Yes, we can use get into, and when we finish our journey, we get into or get out of. Yes, we can use get in, get into, or get out of when we speak about a car or a taxi. So thank you so much for your work today. So I had a lot of correct answers in the chat. Thank you for being active, and I will be happy to see you next Monday for our next webinar. So we will talk about grammar next time. We will talk about present tenses, and we will practice listening a bit with you. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy your holidays, and see you next Monday.